one. Okay, this is Group 2, Module 8, our final webinar. Question 1. What have I learned about hip-hop education and cultural diversity? I also liked how they talked about not only is hip hop as a really, great like shared cultural experience for teachers and students to experience together as kind of like a rapport building and relationship building device, but also because the brain really does well with mnemonic devices and putting things to song, adding rhythm, using that as a, kind of like a learning moment and a memorization tool. I thought that that was really genius, giving, kind of using it as a way to break down harder concepts. It gave me a lot of ideas as a teacher of how to incorporate hip hop into my classroom and kind of giving the students autonomy with it, because obviously I'm not a good like rapper, but a lot of my students are, so giving them that moment to shine and really teach each other concepts through hip hop I think is awesome. I also really appreciated the second article about black feminism and hip hop, on how they kind of intersect, and hip hop gives black females an opportunity to talk about a lot of issues that are hard to talk about. Sometimes things become easier when you kind of have an artistic expression tied to it. So, knowing the trauma that a lot of black girls go through, like giving an opportunity to talk about um, trauma, violence, sexual violence in a way that they're expressing their experience and able to take, really strong feelings from within that could be like preventing them from learning or creating mental blocks, to sharing that and getting it off their chest is a really huge benefit as well. Let's move on to the next question, which is, what did I learn about multicultural education that I did not know before? I also, I totally agree with what you guys have said, but also thinking about how multicultural education, when you think of that, I tended to think of culture as different races and nationality backgrounds, and through this class, thinking about how multicultural includes the sexual preferences of our kids, their gender preferences, their class status, their ability level. So just, how much further we need to go beyond race. I think we might have lost Holly for a second. Hopefully she comes back. Okay, there she is. So the next question is, what topic or module has challenged my thinking the most about cultural diversity? What I thought a lot about was several articles that talked about dropout and push out and the prison to school to prison pipeline. As a teacher that's worked in, I'm very like the living stereotype of the white female northern transplant teacher working in all black communities and all black charter schools post Katrina and now in Cincinnati. So seeing the reality of that with my students, especially my male students, and having them even talk to me about the violence that they've seen or the their threats of being incarcerated, their family members being incarcerated, a lot of violence that they experience with, firsthand witnessing gun violence, or I even lost a couple students to gun violence. So, like seeing this connection of life on the street, but like, life on the street. What's happening? Okay, well, let's just assume that the video is recording on my screen. Um, so seeing this connection between like life on the street versus life at school and how risky that is for a lot of students, that definitely touched home for me. Um, Go ahead. Okay, our final question, and we have 3 minutes left on this video, is what work do you still need to do to continue to engage with conversations on cultural diversity, equity, and inclusion? I think it's important. I think it's We have a little over a minute left. I think it's really important for us teachers to constantly be monitoring our own actions and behaviors and the behaviors and actions of those around us, students and faculty. But thinking about, am I in this moment? Am I a bystander or am I an ally, or am I the bully? So really like taking stock of where your actions are putting you on that line and how you can move to ally constantly. One more minute. Any final words? All right, guys, that ends our final webinar. Goodbye.